Oh, well.
We welcome everybody. Is there anybody from Taylor County would like to check in this evening?
Well, let me tell you something. This has been a hell of a day. And, let me turn this around. I'm not going to say that it's been fun, because it hasn't. As a matter of fact, it's one of those days that makes you wonder, why the fuck am I doing this? And the reason for that is, well, because we're not supposed to be comfortable. There's a book, by the way, that talks about that sort of thing, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, because I'm getting invaded. Neighbors are here. So hold on. Okay, so where was I? There goes my neighbor. He's just came in to check on me. One thing I love about this place is the neighbors. And they're great people. Where was I? We had a monsoon, and you can see. So let's start. Where was I? Oh, I was wondering about my purpose in life, I think. I think that's what I was doing. Was I not doing that? Yes, I was. I was wondering, why the fuck am I doing this? And part of the reason that I am doing this and persevering, even though sometimes it's deflating, I'm not going to lie, it's deflating. Why is it deflating? Because things don't move as fast as you want, and there's always trouble. And when there's always trouble, then, I need to use my other stick. I'm on the Osmo Action 6, by the way, so it's the first time I'm using this. And I got here, and the first thing I did was, the tractor was right here. It was in this area here, and I turned the fuel on, and immediately there was just gas gushing out of the carburetor. And the carburetor, so that means that there's something in the float bowl that's sticking. I don't have my tools to fix it. But I got it running, because I regulated the amount of fuel that would go into the carburetor, so it wouldn't overflow, but it would still run. I got it. I ran it. It ran for like 20 minutes. I got the bush hog picked up, and then I started to bush hog all of this area here, because we've had a lot of rain down here. Unlike where I live now, which has had no rain, and they never want us to water our fields, our grass. But here, everything is just, it's like a shit show here. It's nothing but a shit show. So I got, this is where my garden's supposed to go. And look at this. It's like a forest. It's going to turn into a forest if I don't do something with it. So anyway, I wanted to do the rest, because the neighbor did all of this around so they could get up and not have any weeds and crap next to them while they are framing it. And we'll get to the framing later. So I went around, and then it died. Right there, it died. And it stayed there. And then the rain was coming in. I tried to get it going. It would fire up and then immediately die. So it's a fuel issue. There's no doubt it's a fuel issue. So tomorrow morning, instead of working on the woodshed, now I'm going to go in and get some fuel filter and some new rubber lines, fuel lines, and whatnot. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the roof, because I don't like what I see. And it's been sitting for too long. The roof has been sitting for too long. And I don't know if it can be saved. But I need to see about that. And I don't know if we've got anything that needs to be treated here. Because, it's dark. So, these are the things that deflate you. It's like, why? I think I mentioned before the neighbor showed up that there's a book. The book that is coming up that I'm going to read is about being uncomfortable. A guy was on Rowe recently. I forgot the name of the book. I'll flash it up. I'll flash it up for you. But I got to read it because we're so interested in keeping things very, I don't even know what the word is, comfortable for us, aren't we? And it's easy. Believe me, it's easy. It's seductive, as a matter of fact. It's so seductive to live a life that is very comfortable. You know, hey, look, I'm just as much a person who, you know, gets very comfortable with comfortable. So, you know, what I'm doing is not for the faint of heart, for sure. But it reminds you why people wanted to leave it, you know what I'm saying? I'll say more about that later. I'll get the name of the book up and we'll talk about it later on. But, you know, I'm living in wetness. I'm drenched. You know, actually, I'm drying out a little bit. Lucky for me, the tent I had up, I had it sitting right there, but it got too wet. So I moved it over into a drier area. But as you can see, there's just wetness everywhere because the roof is not done. So that's priority number one for me is the roof. Before I get into some of the, look at this. This is just disgusting. Topics on the book, which I'll talk about later and pontificate, and you can fast forward through it. The framing looks great. Okay, so good news, bad news. The framing looks great. Door is right there. This is the door that's going to be entered. The box. It's going to be a 100 amp box. That's going to come from way over there. We're going to trench it into here. It's going to sit in here somewhere. And then, of course, in here, right around in here, this area where I've got my jack stands and chain and my saw and whatnot. The 2-post lift will go in here somewhere in this area because this here is 6 inches of concrete with rebar filled right here in between that post and that post. So it's going to go in here. They did great on the windows. Window, up top. I wanted them up top because I wanted the light to come in. And I wanted it as high as possible so it would capture most of the light during the day. Because the light kind of stays, depending on the time of the year in particular, the sun stays kind of low in the horizon. It doesn't go high noon on you. It does a little bit of high noon today, towards the summer. But anyway, so from here all the way across, you can see my plumbing all the way across to that. And then over, this is the mezzanine. It's going to be a second floor up here. And then this will be like an apartment. Don't call it an apartment, though, to the county. They don't like that. So, an office. It's going to be an office in here. So, window. That window up there is for the mezzanine. This window down here is for this area. And there's going to be a mini split right here. Why a mini split? Well, because, you know, need someplace to have air conditioning out here. It's not. I don't want the garage air conditioned. But, hey, where are we going to store our canned goods? Because we're going to have to, you know, we're going to can. We're going to can. From where? The garden. It's over there. Underneath the weeds right now. Yeah, we're gonna can. And so you need to keep canned goods somewhere around. That's why they put them in a cellar, you know, in the old days. Back into other places in the Midwest and the West, Northwest in particular. That's why they put that stuff in cellars, because it, you know, it's you got to keep it cool or boom, explodes. Anyway, there's the garage door framed out. That's great. So got one here, and they don't have this side done yet, but there's going to be one here. So in other words, theoretically, not theoretically, I'm going to be able to do this. You can drive through this door here and then drive all the way through the back and out. Kind of nice. That's the plan. So this door here, if I remember, is going to be much bigger, but it's going to be only for the 2-post lift, which is going to be in this area. So anyway, the framing looks pretty good. They'll be back tomorrow. Maybe I'll get some time-lapse stuff for that. But yeah, the roof sucks. I'm very concerned. See you in a little bit. All right, I'm not sure you can see this, but it's kind of a test. The Osmo Action 6 is supposed to have very nice, at least an improved low light abilities. It's about 9 o'clock. It's been a long, rough day, as I'm sure you could tell from the intro. Made some dinner from what I could from wet wood with a little bit of help from an accelerant. And thank goodness, I do have to say, for the framers who were here doing the garage, most of the stuff that I unloaded the Kia and then moved it into the garage here, and then we had that rainstorm, and it was a mad scramble. So I had to move the tent from there over into the center where it was a little less wet, and everything seems to be dry in it. So kudos to that. I've got that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and had been staying out here in that for a long time. When I come down, except when it gets too cold or too hot. When it gets too hot, then I do get a motel for the AC. I don't mind working in the heat. I've got no problem, but sleeping in it, that's a different matter for me. But that's because I grew up in the desert where it was low humidity. It's a different animal in the south. And it's always been hard for me to get used to. But hey, I'll come back to that in a minute. But I used to camp right there underneath this beautiful oak tree. And the last time I was here, 2 times I was here, I camped over there near the power. They ran a line, the framers did, from all the way over there. You can see the little light right there, maybe. So I got power in here. The DJI Osmo 6, I've got this was very cheap, actually. I couldn't believe how cheap this was, but a little external mic on it. I wish I would have had it with the Hero 8, but the Hero 8 was such a piece of crap, really, that I didn't really like to really want to invest much into it. And so when I got the Osmo Action 6, this is a one and done thing for me. And I got the external mic with it and the whole kit. So it's on a neat little tripod stand that can wrap around like pipes and tubes and all sorts of stuff like that. But it fits also really good. It's a nice tripod for the table. It's a better tripod for the table than the tripod that came with the Hero 8, which is really bad, I have to say. So, cheers. By the way, Mortsky, sandwiches.
A lot of good stuff in there. Of course, you gotta have the beer fridge. That thing is overly full, and we got plenty of beer on top of it, so we need to do a little bit better job of consuming sandwiches around here, Duff.
I don't have Wi-Fi out here, but I do have the title of the book. I downloaded it, but I didn't download it to my iPad, so I can't read it. And it's called The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. Now, I saw Michael Easter on Mike Rowe.
What's the big takeaway for people from this book? I'm just asking for the Cliff Notes because I know we've already touched on it in the past, but it's important that people understand, I think, what sent you down this weird path of skepticism.
Yeah. The big Cliff Notes of the book is that as the world has gotten more and more comfortable in every way, everything from we don't have to put in as much effort to get our food, to the fact that we spend 93% of our time indoors, the fact that we don't have to move anymore, we've lost some of the most important things that keep us healthy, happy, and make life interesting and bring us meaning. So it's like comfort is great, but if you're never offsetting that by doing things that are inherently challenging, uncomfortable, you start to see people get restless. They get unhealthy. Like all these bad things sort of creep in. So my path to that book is that I got sober when I was 28. And this wasn't like I listened to a few health podcasts and go, oh, maybe if I have a few less drinks, I'll have abs. I was like the guy that would wake up and go, where's my car? And I'd look out and, oh, it's on the front lawn, Michael.
Yeah.
That might be a problem. Getting sober, though, was extremely hard. I'd tried a bunch of times. Never worked. Because I'm always looking for the easy way out of this. What simple thing can I do to just fix this problem? How can I just, drink a little less? That shit never worked.
Really?
Never.
So it was never the moderation thing?
No. My favorite drink was always the next one. That might get you in trouble. And then one morning I just sort of could clearly see this was not going to end well. And it occurred to me, it was kind of like one of those well duh moments where you go, wait a minute, do you think this is supposed to be easy to get sober? Like, no.
Was that the car on the lawn morning?
That was probably the car on the back lawn morning. That might have been that one. And I just sort of accepted this is going to be really hard. And I leaned into that discomfort. And it was hard. It was hell for your life gets worse when you get sober because now you don't have the, oh, I feel bad, crack, right? Mm-hmm. Your life gets worse for a while. But then on the other side of that, things started getting better across the board. Like everything got better. Now, when this happened, I was working at Men's Health Magazine. Was an editor there, writer for a bunch of years. And I saw that like every single thing we wrote about in that magazine, same exact trajectory. You had to do something that was hard in the short term to get a long-term benefit. From there, then it became this sort of pullback going, all right, going through discomfort seems to improve people in a lot of different ways. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. And then you just sort of look at modern life and you're like, wow, we've made everything way more comfortable than it's ever been. Like we don't really have to be uncomfortable today if we don't want to. And I wonder what that's done to us.
So the unintended consequence.
The unintended consequence, yeah.
And it was Donnie Vincent, right?
Yeah, I went hunting with him. So that book came out of a profile I did of him for Men's Health, where we went hunting for a week. I'd never been hunting.
And this guy probably hasn't eaten anything he hasn't killed in decades.
He's one of those types.
Like true off the grid, like walking the walk.
He's legit. He's not, going to a hunting resort and staying in a nice lodge, and then he goes out for the day and hunts and shows the photo of the like, look at this crazy shit I did.
Yeah.
No, he's out there for like months at a time in the middle of nowhere. Very dangerous hunts. He's a real deal. I did a hunt with him for Men's Health. I realized, it was one of those stories I sat down where my word count is 2,500, and I said, well, I could probably do like 4 times this. Or not 4. My math is not good. I'm a writer, not a mathematician.
Well, that's 10,000 words.
40 times this. So I could
40.
Get,
oh, yeah. So
I could get to like 80,000 words. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I pitched it as a book, and then as part of that, I'm like, all right, well, we need a through line. The hunt that I had done with him in Nevada, I'm like, that was the spine of this story I wrote, but I had to leave out a lot. So I talked my way into going up to the Arctic with him for more than a month. It's like, hey, could I do one of these hunts with you? And he's like, yeah, maybe.
This is caribou?
Yeah, it was a caribou hunt. So we were up in the Arctic for more than a month hunting, and yeah, I got what I wanted out of that, which was let's see what being uncomfortable for a while does. And I mean, that trip, it was hell up there. Like I'm freezing cold. Like I wasn't warm for a second. But there were some days where like negative 40.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from Las Vegas.
It's so cold.
It's so cold. Bored out of my mind for a lot of it, which that's new today.
Right.
If I'm bored at home, I just go, bam, cell phone, Netflix. Let's check my email for the 99th million time today.
Swipe
Maybe
left.
a new one's in.
Who knows? Yeah. Maybe she's there.
Hungry too, because we had to pack in all our food. Like now, I just eat. I'm one of those people that I'm kind of bored. I think I'll just eat. Mm-hmm. So now I'm hungry again. All these different the silence. Holy hell! Like once you get up there was one time I was out on the tundra. It's probably peeing or something, and you hear this like, ch. And I'm like, what is that? What is that? It was my watch. It is so silent that any noise just gets amplified, and it's almost like your perception just gets really dialed up. And
we don't realize how noisy it is here, day to day.
Yeah,
we don't realize it's kind of like light pollution too, right?
Right.
Like noise pollution and light pollution. Yeah, even in Vegas, I remember being out in the desert and just being blown away by the amount of stars I could see.
Yeah.
Once you're really away from the lights, it's amazing what you can get used to. Like you get used to not seeing the night sky. not hearing nothing.
Yeah.
So when you do, yeah, it's breathtaking.
We have become so used to convenience and comfort that it harms us in some ways. The Eastern Orthodox talk about this all the time. It could be something, a temptation, a sin that you're addicted to. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be some of the more nefarious stuff that the internet is famous for. It's going to take a lot of discomfort to get over it. Everybody's looking for the quick fix. If I can do it easy, hey, let's do that. But it rarely ever works. So Michael Easter in the book, The Comfort Crisis, talks about men getting out of their comfort zone. Oh, yeah, one thing he says, and this is totally true. So let's say that you're a little bit out of shape. And, you know, I kind of am, but I'm never satisfied with, you know, my strength or whatever. And you go and you start lifting weights. So what do you have to do to be able to succeed and get to the level that you want to be? Let's say you're height weight proportionate, so you're down to the weight that is healthiest for you. You know, for me, you know, high school weight was about 160. And 155, 160, and I'm a good 15 pounds over that. It behooves a person to try and reach that limit. So reach that level that you're, you know, you don't have a dad bod or something like that. Anyway, what does it take to get there? And Michael Easter says it takes discomfort to get there. You go lift weights and try and get in shape or lose weight or whatever you need to do, even on a personal level, change something about your personality, change something about whatever. It's going to take pain. Difficult times makes us better, but we have to go through it. It's just the nature of the beast, of living in this world. Then there's only one way to do it, and that is discomfort. So we've become so maybe he doesn't put it like this, but I will. We've become so addicted to comfort that we try and find the easiest way to change something or do something, and it frequently doesn't work. And you're right back to where you started again. So that is what today reminded me of. You know, usually I come down here and it's a pretty easy time. I mean, it's hard work, but today was just a cluster. And it makes you question, what the hell am I doing? Kind of day. We've probably all had those days. But then I sit out here and I got nothing but silence and wildlife around me, which is very much unlike where I live now. And it reminds me of the silver lining in it all. So, you know, we persevere and you got to push through. And the only way to the other side is through it. And that's painful. It's discomforting. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Before I go to bed tonight, this came in the mail just before I left. This is Backwoods Home Magazine. I just love what they did to the front cover. Backwoods Home Magazine, if you want to take a step back in time, I mean, even to the layout of the magazine, it's a homesteading magazine. It's one of the first ones that I knew about, and I've known about them for a long time. They're from Albany, Oregon, where they're published, and this whole piece on America 250 just hits the right tone. And so I grabbed it with me, and I'm glad I did, since I don't have a lot of data abilities out here. Thanks, AT&T, by the way. So I'll be reading this a little bit tonight before bed, and I highly recommend Backwoods Home. Now, Backwoods Home is a lot of how-to isms, and I think you'll find that in the magazine space. I didn't really plan on addressing this, but I'm going to do it now. It's a how-to in the magazine space. A couple months ago, they had one on how to make your own Santa Maria grill. Oh man, I'm going to do that. At some point, if I can, healthy and everything, I'm going to build me a Santa Maria grill and then You know, I'll have my Weber on the side, but I really would love to have one in the backyard of the house if it ever gets done. But Backwoods Home is good. Self-Reliance also is published by the Backwoods Home people, and they're more hands-on type of how-to type of things topics they cover. And that's what you're going to find in the homesteading magazine space, is a lot of how-to stuff, which I think is unfortunate. There's several. Mother Earth News. Backwoods Home is libertarian, right-wing. If you had to put, from people who are interested in this stuff, political stuff. They're libertarian. Mother Earth News used to be hard left, but they're pretty much in the center. I wouldn't call them center right. I wouldn't call them center left. I just call them dead smack in the middle. A lot of good how-to stuff in Mother Earth News, I have to say. And they're the ones that have the largest circulation. I mean, they kill everybody. Just kill them in terms of circulation. And then there's Grit Magazine, which is published by the same people who do Mother Earth News. Definitely center-right magazine, pastoral, you know. Oh, isn't it wonderful stuff. Homesteaders of America magazine is also a very important and influential, I would call them a group that does a lot of meet and greets, workshops. They're very pastoral. It's maybe less, ooh, isn't it all flowery, than Grit, but it's kind of along the same lines. The couple of magazines that I've seen, the covers are very pastoral, very romanticized in a way. But there's some good stuff in there, and they really do great workshops. I mean, Joel Salatin is there usually. Justin Rhodes is at their workshops. But it's a lot of how-to as well. Homesteaders of America is definitely, I wouldn't even call them center. I mean, they're very Protestant, right-wing, evangelical. If I had to put them in that, they don't wear it on the magazine overtly, but that's kind of the membership. They probably have the most younger members now than the others do. Maybe Mother Earth News does too, but the rest of them are all older clientele that pick them up. And my favorite though is Range Magazine, and Range Magazine is not a how-to. It's also a ranching magazine. Some homesteading stuff is in there, but they're a ranching magazine. And they are definitely center right. They are not a how-to book magazine. They are what the hell's going on and what can we do about it magazine. And I love them for that. It is probably my favorite for that reason. As a matter of fact, I call them center right, but I know some people have called them the most consistently right-wing magazine in the West, or about the West, or about living rural in the United States today. That might be true. That might be true. I know I'm forgetting some others out there, but anyway, that's what I read. And if what I can glean about stuff I don't know, that I want to know, I usually, go looking there or to books. And then the only way to do it is to tie this all back up again before I go to bed, is to suffer and make yourself uncomfortable by doing it. It is only that way that you grow. And so there can be many aids that you use, but at some point you just got to get up and do it yourself, and screw up and maybe fuck up royally, and then do it again until you get it right. And that's our condition. Or stay comfortable. How's that working out for you? Only you can answer that question. I cannot. I can tell you, and you know, how the answer to that question for me. Well, it's been a day of victories and failures. So, started last night on the property. I'll come back to this, but I need to go drop this stuff off. So I got a little bit of cleaning up to do, and then we'll hit the road tomorrow. It's still pretty warm. Had a pleasant sleep last night, actually, outside. So this is my staging area for today for the woodshed, which is over there. I'll show you what I did on that. We'll get that done. I'll have to cart that stuff over tomorrow. Really, the victory and failure is all about the Massey Ferguson. Something's up with it. We'll find out. I've got stuff to put away and cover up out here in this area, but as you can see, I gotta pick my framing hammer up. I got most of now. I know what you're gonna say. Some of these are bowed. Yes, they are. Actually, two are, but this is floor joist, so I got all of the joists, almost all of the joist stuff in. I think I'm missing one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need 14, 15 counting the one I need. And that's as far as I got on this. Now, part of that is because I didn't have the necessary accoutrements that I need. Pick up my framing hammer in order to complete the job. Some of those bowed pieces, slightly bowed pieces of wood are throwaways that the framers on the garage are using or throwing away that they can't use. And so I decided to commandeer the best of that, and it amounted to 2 pieces. So we stayed right here last time, right next to the house. But the garage is much cooler. For one, it has a roof on it, and that roof actually, and the cement, keeps it pretty cool in there. So pretty happy about that. Come on, boy. Come on. Now, I've come on. You can see I did get the tractor running today. It was pretty much dead in the water yesterday. It would start real quick and die. Figured it was a carburetor, actually. Went out and got a carburetor kit this morning, cleaned it all out, put new fuel lines in. It was in pretty bad shape, I'm not gonna lie. The little tensioner hook on the float bowl, the pin, it's not a pin, was it was leaking all over the place, but it was missing that retainer clip. And so did it, got new hoses for the side, got in. Let me show you what I did to the other side. I mean, it's really not all that impressive, really. New lines, new filter, and she fired right up. Then it died, and it will not start at all. So I don't know. Could be the carburetor, but more framing was done today. Pretty much a wall and a half was done, or 2 walls, wall and a half, I'd say. And then they started on the main drag here. So, but the framer came by, talked with him for quite a while, talked to the contractor on the phone. He's the one that's going to get it so fixed for me, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really to talk about, I guess. So victory in that I got the 1/2 of the floor joist done for the woodshed. So yeah, that's good. But victory and defeat in the fact that I got the Massey Ferguson running again, but then it just died. I love the little tractor. It really is all I need for this area to keep up with it and maintain it. And so let's hope something good comes out of it. But otherwise, things are moving slowly, and my contractor's not happy about that. But hey, man, it is what it is. Part of the reason for that is because we've deported enough people that hired help is hard to come by. And before that, it was permitting, but permitting's no problem now. So now it's the deportations that have sort of slowed things down. And by what I mean slowed down is that there's a crew here, but it's not a full crew. And so now the flip side to all of this is that even though there's fewer workers because of the deportations that have happened of illegals, which I'm totally supportive of, by the way, the work has improved. Yes, I know. It's something you would expect to hear, right? And then you get called all sorts of mean words that don't mean anything anymore from the disloyal opposition party. But it's a fact, it is a fact that when illegals were more numerous in construction sites, but the issue is not that there are people who get things right and do a good job. It's that the general preponderance of bad and shoddy work is coming from illegals. That's just a fact. So, I can take some comfort in the fact that what's being done here is it's good work. I can tell because I've been around it. I'm not a expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have a general idea of what looks good and what doesn't, especially when we're talking about, are things plumb, are they level, are they straight, that type of thing. And is it built recklessly or slowly but exactly? And that's what I've got going on here. So things take a little bit longer, sure, because of that, but things also take a little bit longer because there's less illegals who are stealing jobs essentially away from native people who would otherwise be employed. Now it's going to take, I'm going to tell you this, and it depends on where you are too, but it's going to take a couple years for this hole to be filled up, and because the skill level has to be there. And so if the younger generation gets into the trades, which I'm encouraging them to do, don't really go to college, get into the trades, because you'll make a lot more money, by the way. And you get to have an opinion. So, whereas in college you're not taught by very smart people, and you're not allowed to have an opinion or question them, really. That's the way it is now in higher ed. So yeah, get into the trades. You're going to be be taking some higher ed classes, but if it's just a certificate you're looking for, those types of instructors are far different from the general population of instructors who teach things that aren't useful to society, and also usually wrong. It's just basically opinions. So yeah, I'm happy with the way things are going, and very supportive of Trump then. If anybody cares about that, maybe you could already tell. But, sure, it hurts, but there's a bigger goal a bigger prize at the end, and that's what I kind of think this is. So, yeah, lots of pain and suffering today. What do you know? But I feel very satisfied. We'll have a good night's sleep, I hope, and then without rain. It doesn't look like it's going to rain now, and then we'll be off in the morning and go back home. just in time for the 4th of July. Okay? All right. Hang loose. Thanks for watching.
I was young and fragile when the liquor took hold. It came as a friend, but it left as a vow. And if I could go back to the very first sip, I'd clean up the wound that the booze bandaged. Two fifths of whiskey to start the night off. I'd get drunk with the moon, go to bed with the sun. Next morning, the taste of familiar regret. You sip on the poison, slow death's what you get. But the craving is worse than last night. If I don't quit soon, it'll claim me for life. I'm scared to try one more time, 'cause when I relapse it feels like a crime. There was a time when drinking felt like making love. Now that woman wants more, but I've had enough. I'm weary and I'm a fool for falling in temptation. It pulls all my strings and dilutes the hesitation. But the craving is worse than last night. If I don't quit soon, it'll claim me for life. I'm scared to try one more time, 'cause when I relapse it feels like a crime. 'Cause when I relapse it feels like a crime. I don't trust the bottle or its intentions for my life. It wakes up the ghost that my father left behind. And if I must return to my old deranged ways, get rid of the body before this all goes to waste.